So hey guys, welcome to another Warframe video, and yesterday we got a pretty big update. So number one, the Warframe, also known as Octavia, is finally in the game. And if you want to get Octavia, you will first have to finish the Octavia's Anthem quest. Now to start this quest, you simply have to go to a relay, go to Cephalon Suda, and choose the option Music. And don't worry, I'm not gonna spoil the questline. Now, Octavia mechanically is absolutely fantastic. I really like the way she works. Though as someone who has been making music for about 17 years now, the Mandachord for me was a crushing disappointment. It feels like it was made by someone who has either never made any music whatsoever, or they made very little music that was also very simple, because you could play more complex songs on this. You have 5 different notes for the melody, the same notes for the bass, and only 3 samples for the drums. This is so limiting that you can't even make the intro to Michael Jackson's Billie Jean. The most complex thing I was able to make after fiddling about with it for about 30 minutes was this. You can't even change the bloody BPM, and if you don't like the sound of the instruments that are provided with the Mandachord, you have to buy new ones for 50 platinum. And even though I thoroughly believe that people will make songs that sound really nice, since you can't change the BPM and you only have 5 notes for the bass and melody, they will all sound fairly similar. I mean, come on, all I wanted was to run around and murder things with a Duke Nukem theme song, or rickroll people, or play We Are Number One. None of which are, of course, possible with this. I think it would have been better if they had 2 different versions of the Mandachord. The first and the simpler one that you've just seen would be tied to Octavia's ability, so you can't annoy people with horrendously composed songs that just don't make any sense. And the second one would be a more complex version that would allow you to make songs for your orbiter or different rooms in the dojo. I mean, how cool would it be if you loaded into someone's dojo and the Flight of the Bumblebee started playing as you loaded? That'd be amazing! But then again, this may just be me being a grumpy old fart, because back in my day, music had more than 5 notes. Moving on. We got 2 new weapons with Octavia, the Tenora, which is an automatic assault rifle, and we also got the Pandero, which is a secondary weapon. I will do full videos for both of these as well as Octavia once I play with them enough, but for now, let's move on. Dex Dacra, Dex Furis, and Dex Sybaris are back for the anniversary. We can't get the Dex Siandana, which is the item for the newest anniversary, but for now we can at least get the old 3. And you get all 3 of them by finishing the event missions. The first one is an Exterminate mission where you can only use secondary weapons, and this one rewards you with Dex Furis. This is a bullet hole secondary that is very ammo inefficient and is best built for raw damage because it doesn't have very high crit or status chance. It is by no means the best weapon in the game, but for a newer player this is a fantastic secondary weapon. The second mission is an Infested Rescue, and it's melee only. This one rewards Dex Dacra, which is a fantastic slash-based dual sword weapon that also has decent crit and status. And just like the Dex Furis, this is not the best melee weapon in the game, but it is really damn solid, especially for a newer player. And the third and final event mission is a Grenier Interception where you can only use primary weapons. And this one rewards you with Dex Sybaris, which is one of my personal favorites because I'm a big fan of lever-action rifles. This is a semi-automatic burst rifle that has very high crit and decent damage. It's basically just a straight-up upgrade over the original Sybaris. This is a very good weapon. And the interception mission is also fairly short because you only have to do 2 rounds. I've also played around with the new and improved Tails Boltis a little bit, and while it's definitely not as good as it used to be because it did ridiculous damage in a very wide area, the added crowd control from the Vortex is kind of nice. And aside from the other buffs, nerfs, and changes to already existing weapons that I've already covered in a video, we also got the butt plug rework. And first impressions are pretty good. It makes much more sense for you to go into the rift by dashing around. You no longer have a dodge as a Limbo, and the abilities feel far more useful. It doesn't feel like you're doing one thing with all 4 abilities anymore. But it will take time for me to properly test it and make a new build and all that kind of stuff. So after about a week or so, I will make a full Limbo review. Then we got an amazing addition to the arsenal, so you can now see the secondary stats of all weapons. So if the weapon has a secondary fire mode, you can now see the stats of it, which is fantastic because the only way to figure this out before was to just go to Wiki. The clan ranking system is up and running as well, and I'm not quite sure what this is supposed to do. As you complete research and build rooms, your clan gets points and it can rank up, and you get some kind of an altar that people can go to and click on it and get endo. And that's really all I know about it. I ran around the dojo for a little bit and I didn't really notice anything new. And finally, probably the best addition with this update, the Captura mode. Oh my goodness, this thing is amazing. Though it is kind of baffling how the Captura mode has so many different options and it's so incredibly customizable to allow you to do virtually anything, yet Octavia's Mandachord ended up being, well, essentially a guitar with 4 frets and 5 of the same string. This is just incredible. You can make the perfect screenshots in here. You have so many options. And while I'm not very good at fashion frames, so I'm probably not going to use this to take screenshots of my fantastic looking frames, I am going to use this to make thumbnails because this is the perfect thumbnail generator. And that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about in this video. They've changed far more stuff than I was able to cover, and I will put a link to the forum post in the description because if I were to cover everything, this video would be like 2 hours long. They've changed so much with this update. But anyway, that's it for the video, so I thank you very much for watching as always, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.